The Dossier of Lord Captain D.H.M.B.Peachey PhD Esquire American, by way of Nome, Alaska, Amargosa, Death Valley Junction, California, Los Angeles, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Hammond, Louisiana, Boston, Massachusetts, West Plains, Missouri, Livingston, Montana, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Nevada, New York, New York, Beaufort, South Carolina, Dale City, Virginia, Olympia, Washington, and last but not least, nearest and dearest to my heart, the mile-high city Denver, Colorado, both the metro area and numerous surrounding cities. Each city above has left a distinct impression and held important influence, which is why I name all and purposely exclude the current. It's not done to name where one lives online, making the omission wisdom not malice largely for the sake of doxing prevention. No city above is more recent than 2020, simply extraordinary lore masters Gmail. Combrai. Time also has been spent in Osaka, Kyoto and Tokyo, Japan, London, England, Athens, Greece, Hong Kong, United Kingdom pre-Y2K, Beijing, China, Bangkok, Thailand, Rio, Brazil, Rome, Dublin, Ireland, Florence, Bologna, and Genoa, Italy, Paris, France, Sydney, Australia, and within the Great Victoria Desert, though not in a city or town, McMurdo Station, Antarctica, Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, Israel, and numerous other places in the Middle East and North and Central Africa, with special love for Cairo, Egypt, and last but not least, Joburg, Johannesburg, and Soweto. South Africa any left off is because I neither fought nor trained nor was schooled there. My influence through recreation is for my nostalgia, nothing more. Also, I can confirm this for any who do not believe the rational, repeatable results of science and need an eyewitness, who is also fully able to accept that there are things science cannot yet or may never understand. The earth is absolutely not flat. There is no wall, nor are there guards or any other form of obstacle or prevention surrounding Antarctica, and if there is a dome or firmament, then it does not look like the lower left image. I doubt there is one, but if so, it absolutely must be a larger sphere than the Earth and its atmosphere and its orbiting satellites. Hope that helps. It's not based on proof from NASA or debated, although nearly universally settled science. I am telling you as a person who has put boots to the ground and viewed with my own eyes as well as circumnavigated the globe like Phileas Fogg in around the world, in 80 days traveling only one direction, until roughly back where I began. Although he went east in the story, I went west in reality, and it didn't take nearly that long, including the stops and days spent fulfilling the purpose of the traveling. It was done in 11 days, and at the speed I was traveling. Had I not stopped, I would calculate it would not even take 2 full days, a day, and 3, 4, maybe 40, 45 hours. That's a rough guess from the distance I measured in maths. Statistics. Date of birth, June 1982. Height, 6'1", 72 13 inches, 183.2 centimeters. Weight, 204 pounds, 92.5 kilograms. Chest, 48 inches, 122 centimeters. Waist, 32 inches, 81 centimeters. Bicep, 24 inches, 61 centimeters. Collar/neck, 18 inches. Sizes 2. X shirts, 32 by 34 trousers. Parentage Greek and German Jew on paternal side. Irish and Japanese on maternal side. Jewish by heritage, born again. Christian by faith. Surgery, augmentation. Full skeletal prosthesis. Left leg knee to ankle. Over 300 inches stitched scar. I'm at the point where I measure wounds by length and depth, not stitches, especially since they aren't a universally spaced procedure. Also, 12 bullet holes from 8 shots, 4 through meaning entry, and exit 4 in meaning entry. Only had to take them out, or have them taken out. So far that's 2 for 2. I've removed 2 with my own hand, the first one, and needle nose pliers the other, and 2 needed removed for me, wasn't awake for one and couldn't safely reach the other. Equipment favored, 7-foot white oak spear, 11-inch willow leaf, blade, 3 or 8-inch thick Damascus steel, dual tactical Honshu Kamas, 20 cm blades of folded carbon steel on 54 cm carbon fiber, articulated shafts with reverse angle bend to maximize slash, dual golden titanium fist knives, 10 cm double-edged blades arched from 5 cm to a point, one-piece construction place tang between ring and middle finger, to rounded palm-shaped grip, each engraved with protective verses such as Luke 10:19, Psalms 59 and 144, Mark 16:17, Romans 6-8 and 8-5 and more. Standard issue USMC K-bar, 70-76 cm blade, 90 cm overall, 1080 high carbon Honshu sax knife. Samurai katana and wakizashi, 92 and 75 cm blades, handmade folded steel, modernized by setting in state-of-the-art carbon fiber, Tsuka solid silver Tsuba. Excalibur-inspired short sword, 80 cm blade, 15 cm crossguard high carbon hand. Made by myself, its beauty is its flawless functionality and simplicity. Rapier solid black, inspired by cross-design of Aramis's, played by Luke Evans. In the film Alexandre Dumas' story, Three Musketeers inspired. Folded high carbon steel set in vulcanized rubber and carbon fiber hilt. Swept hilt style 94 cm blade, 112 cm overall, with a modest 14 tiller wide crossguard. The sheath is also of note in that, unlike my other blades, this sheath is entirely flexible, so, on rare occasions when such a thin blade is used in the field, even the sheath adds to agility and freedom of movement. Dual full tang, 20 cm double-edged boot knives, silver-plated surgical steel. Dual sets of 3 perfectly balanced, double-edged 30 cm long, 6 cm wide, 20 cm blade, weighted full tang throwing knives, one set in custom 3-pouch sheath, the other set individually concealed, one on sheath of sacks, and 2 within back of both styles of upper body armor, black plate and shaped leather with carbon fiber, each designed for easy reach even while laying on back. Their size and weight makes them ideal as throwing knives, but also reliably and sturdy if held. 5 pairs of 1080 high carbon throwing stars, 7,8, 9 Taran 2, 10-inch sizes with 4 to 6 points, weighted and tempered for lethal use, unlike playing card size fancy. And decorative shuriken found in mall sword gift shops, mine are made to be used with lethal purpose and work well, unlike the toys from malls and magazines which never were used historically, and at best could only provide distraction, but not any actual injury. Small throwing stars are useless. Mine are life-saving. 4 sets of 2-meter braided steel cable and braided spider silk bolo, each with 3 half-pound brass weights, fixed to each of the 3 ends of the 100 cm long arm, all connected to form a Y-shape weight to weight 2 meners, used as thrown snares. 3 shields, all heavyweight, bulletproof, flame-resistant, electricity-insulated, reflective interface, all able to be secured to arm without being held as well. As fastened secured to allow it dropped, throw or discarded at will, smallest buckler-style right-hand strap and grip equipped with hidden knives, offensive forward spikes and sword-breaker ridges, roughly 30 cm across, mid-size kite shaped exactly same size as my torso, with 3 strap arrangements for either arm, free hand, or loop and grip use. Designed and modified in every way to fit as partner tool for spear or short sword, as well as holding a throwing knife. A bolo and twin set of stainless steel so-called brass knuckles. The shields hide more secret functions within this defensive weapon/offensive shield than meets the eye. I won't be listing all it can do, simply because it's saved my life often enough. I am convinced that what others don't know can be the edge that matters. Third is the largest shield at 3/4 meter by 1 3/4 meters. That's 75 cm x 175 cm, intended for extremely large opponents. As such, has only been used against a bison, a brown bear, several black bears, and 2 unknowns. One my size, the other far larger while in the woods, and on several occasions as cover while under fire. It's tested to take stronger hits. But I can guarantee it is able to stop AK-47 fire at danger close range easily. My armor currently consists of 4 suits that both layer atop and individually intermatch. 2 designed to be undetectably worn under as light clothing as a simple t-shirt and trousers, one being hardened leather and carbon fiber shaped to fit, like a second skin on my body neck to heel. Think 90s Batman. The other mix of braided and knitted steel cable and Kevlar as a micro-mesh mail with strategic placed scale-style Kevlar and carbon fiber overlapping discs, much like a fish or snake. The other 2 can be worn over, or instead of clothing, and consist of scale style. combined with lobster-inspired overlapping-shaped titanium, carbon fiber, Kevlar, and a custom invention in process of patent, made for flexibility and reliable cover, capable of preventing puncture under extreme pressure, tested in a vise above 6,000 psi B4 fail, that's 150% above great white shark's strongest bite on Earth. Stop small arms, zero bruising, and mid-level attacks from magnum rounds, and hunting rifles with discomfort, but no bone breaks like body armor of old used to. A direct hit to the ribs, for example, won't penetrate, nor will it crack the ribs when worn by itself directly, but with layers of other armor and/or moderate padding. The impact is little more than a punch one is ready to take. The last suit is nothing less than a modern blend of state-of-the-art technology, tactical body armor, and the sort of thing one would expect to see a knight in the Middle Ages wearing to war. It's Batman meets Iron Man meets King Arthur meets Tadakatsu Honda, all fitted to me and designed to face anything I've heard might exist's estimations, and every possible opponent I could think of, mix and matching traits from weapons and animals from every corner of the discovered Earth. Also recently fitted with various audio and video recording tech, so I have eyes in the back of my head. Also, so everything I experience is now able to broadcast at the push of a button to stream live up to the minute. Most importantly, no need to ever locate dropped cams or lost footage. Everyone can see anything that happens the whole time, and even though I don't run, but even if I can't return, nobody will have to survive what I couldn't and go looking for my gear to obtain footage, nor worry about flight making it so blurry, you say. I wish we could see more. What I do won't ever get your hopes up, just to have a cliffhanger and no real answers filmed to show what's out there. Even if I go missing, it will be on the SIM card, in the cloud, and backed up at the vehicles, showing you every step of the way. Thank Deadpool for the first-person rewrite of the information for the sake of including you and breaking down the fourth wall to make you the audience honorary members of the team. Last but not least, the weapon I created and trust above all tools in my arsenal is this spear, and you will see why. Be sure to check out the photos of the equipment attached to my dossier. The spear is a 6-foot-long, 2-piece silver-plated titanium spear, solid weighted, half-fixed with spherical ball counterweight, made from 14 different materials, including gold, silver, copper, brass, bronze, stainless steel, iron, obsidian, white oak, bone, jade. Compressed papers with scriptures written in dozens of languages, compressed silk woven with human hair layered and formed into a hammer orb. The hollow half at the blade end is packed full with kosher salt, red brick dust, ground dried herbs linked to every myth or legend with claims of negative reactions on exposure, including holy water, sage, wolfsbane, garlic, 4-leaf clovers, mistletoe, and more. Hollow end also held drops of my own blood, and others offered as vow to be enemy of all evil, tears of innocent, white and black candle wax soil from holy ground, mother of pearl, rust from a nail used by Rome 2,000 years ago, shavings and sawdust from every kind of wood available, crushed to powder stone of every sort as well. The intent was to include in the shaft of the spear absolutely everything from around the world ever used to fend off the wicked, as well as everything used to create holy places or objects devoted to worship and service to the holy. The blade is an 8-inch long, 5-inch wide, diamond-shaped folded steel head infused with pure silver runes and pearl-filled engraved scriptures. It is a weapon created to strike down beast and monster alike, as dangerous to bad men and demonic spirits alike, designed to bring true death to vicious animal or vampire. Living dead or undead cannot withstand this holy instrument of war. Skills considered to be an encyclopedia of arms and armor. Historically, along with their martial abilities, months shy of 40 years, spending hours every single day learning and practicing martial arts history, philosophy, and technique from around the world. Possessing an unparalleled combat prowess. Trained by world-class elite experts, experienced in all practical application of martial skill, at a level now far beyond what began as competition sport, then evolved through discipline and obsession into a living weapon, retaining and honing only the styles, moves, and techniques functionally and practically maximally effective, discarding anything that is not the most efficient way to perform in any situation at any time, no matter the opponent being battled. Master Blacksmith. Apprenticed under 3 masters over 2 decades total, 7 years each as a journeyman following 2 Western-style masters, and 5 years following Eastern, the ranks of Forge Master and Master Smithy, fairly earned unlike so many titles self-awarded from trial and error self-taught experience. I learned the right way, the guild way, the old way. That means my work tests out double proof no matter what I make or who is verifying the work. My metal craftsmanship might not be the world's best, but to this day it is second to none, bushcraft expert, skilled in reading trail sign, forestry, tracking, survivalist training. Doctorate in theology, masters in philosophy focused on history, literature, social and cultural impact on faith and superstitions, including myth, legend, and fables of the obscure, cryptic and occult bachelors in mechanical engineering, honorary degree in cryptozoology. Experience combat consultant, continuity and reality critic. January 20XX, present, USA. As a virtual living encyclopedia of all things combat, excluding specifically firearms, writers, directors, fight choreographers, game designers, artists, and comic book creators, seeking to create a real-to-life fiction or recreate a historical event with more depth than texts can allow. But the realism necessary to tell the tale true, not simply obscure it in a blur of artistic license. My advice and input up front or review and critique after are second to none, especially when it comes to recreating duels and battles having taken place outside living memory, with the level of realism. Even those who were present would be hard-pressed to tell a fiction I've approved of from reality. To equal the depth of detail my understanding provides, professionals in motion capture bodysuits must physically act out events for graphics mapping. As encyclopedias are fast becoming out of date, another accurate way to express my combat and martial understanding would be an AI-level living biological human being of information on all non-firearm related methods, tactics, and histories of warfare from individual one-on-one to what it would have felt like to be at Thermopylae with the 300 or Kawanakagima as one of Shingen's retainers, for example, but not by any means limit. This genre spills over into arms and armor, martial arts and smithy work, even to a degree the tactics and logistics of bushcraft. Counter-poaching wildlife security, ranger, independent contractor. May 1995, current, based USA, North and South America and Africa. Combining bushcraft with counter-terrorism and espionage, adjacent spy work, never against the US or allied nation, always and only against those who would pillage and plunder the natural beauty of the wild places and things that live within them. Most commonly, destruction of illegal traps and things that do not belong in the forest, desert, or jungle. Occasionally contracted to eliminate problem predators when standard relocation and removal efforts have failed. More often to track the ilk who hurl death at unsuspecting animals by using illegal and immoral baiting or hunting techniques. I stalk and capture those who prey on creatures who can only defend themselves as far as tooth and claw reach. Wildlife should always be safe on wildlife preserves, and because I don't consider it a fair fight to kill anything at a distance of safety, I do not use a firearm either in the elimination of dangerous predators or of two-legged hunters shooting animals where they shouldn't. Occasionally tracking missing persons either to find the lost or to find the criminal using local legends to hide crimes. At the end of every Wendigo claim has been a very human culprit, many insane from various combinations of hunger exposure and poison from eating wild flora, few insane from other reasons, fever, rabbis, and intentional loss of mind. However, not once has the killer been supernatural, although to say they had any humanity remaining would also be false. Removal of trail cams, blinds, snares, nets, unnatural markers, poisons, even garbage that could cause problems if eaten by or entangled on an animal. Think of a security guard for the places and things nobody else can get near, get to, or find. This job overflows into Sea Shepherd-style security for salt and freshwater animals. The Seas Shepherd, Oceanic Ranger, independent contractor, June 1998. Current, USA-based Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, Great Lakes and Amazon, Mississippi and Nile rivers, so far. The tracking and bushcraft are the only difference being that very little flora exists at sea above the surface, and even fewer places to leave a track in the traditional sense. The bulk of the work is cutting nets, cables and fishing lines off sea life, removing barnacles and garbage from sea turtles, freeing marine mammals from traps and entanglements, sinking shark finners and coral blasters vessels, crippling and setting adrift vessels dumping toxic waste, and in general making commercial fishing all but impossible when it takes place in locations where locals can no longer fish individually to feed themselves and their families. Removing and destroying river netting systems that prevent spawning, water testing for toxins and industrial caused changes to pH recording, reporting and tracing back to source when the Earth's water is used as a waste disposal system. Teaching renewable fishing practices while working hand in hand with engineers, creating flotsam plastic garbage removal innovations, both for the harvesting of the trash and the profitable repurposing of the same. It's Not Junk Recycling, CEO, April 2005. Current, USA. Originally Denver, Colorado, based now active across the continental 48. Spending several years working for as a solid waste trash man, manually behind the trucks dumping garbage by hand, to later earning commercial driver's license CDL and driving trucks that others loaded manually, as well as driving automated trucks that mechanically emptied barrels and dumpsters, as well as similar collection of recycling materials in the same organization. Later earning higher-level CDL driving semi-tractor trailers to transport waste from city dump transfer stations to outside city landfills. My time doing this above all things motivated me to create the scrap metal and demolition company called It's Not Junk Recycling, founded with a single pickup truck and the motto "Metal never belongs in a landfill," evolving into a much larger, much more widely proposed subcontractors corporation. One thing never changed from start to this day. The metals are sold to private buyers for artists and inventors to have access to cheap, reused, clean-quality, high-grade metal, both ferrous and non-ferrous. Doing this, as opposed to selling lump-sum bulk to construction materials, manufacturers has allowed individual persons to have a more balanced and available chance when creating new ideas and inventions or modifying existing technology, by allowing them the same availability of base and raw materials, such as aluminum for lightweight framing, copper and silver for electronics, brass and tin for artists, bronze statues, steel for blacksmithies, and those who like myself make blades and armor, either as hobby or as profession, as is one of mine. If not for the money saved through sourcing recycled metals, the artists I supply would either need charge double or possibly never get a chance to create from lack of capital to purchase materials. Similarly, 2/3 of the inventors and fabricators supplied by my outfit would never have had the capital to bring their idea into reality or create enough of their products to begin the circular cycle of growth by sales. It may take money to make money, but by selling the foundation-level materials most money goes to, in the beginning of a new enterprise, success is far less of a gamble and within reach of many more, because their money can go farther, essentially making more with less. America is the land of opportunity, where everyone can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. However, not everybody knows how, and it's not charity to provide a navigable path with advice and assistance, rather than criticism and obstacles along the way. People can be amazing, some on their own, but most just need to know they can do it, and see how before they take the leap. And that is one of the core ideals all my companies revolve around, and why they remain small business in nature, regardless of the sizes. Education. Martial arts, Mage in Black, Master Toddler, 1984, current to list. All dates and ranks would both be tacky and beg credulity. So included below is a brief list of longest study and greatest impact over 4 decades. Next year I will have nearly 12.5 black belts, which to anyone who studies knows all that means is I at minimum put a couple grand and at least a year or 2 into each style. Black belt to me doesn't equate to an expert. It means one understands the style fully enough to really start honing it and keeping functionality, discarding unnecessary, redundant, or ineffectual. What may work in point match or kata may not other times. I keep what is reliable in life and death, real-world use, tested through a lifetime's experience, and real use against new opponents paid to do their worst, meaning the most harm to me, not pretend to fight. Anything that doesn't work in that setting is not a tool in my martial prowess. No system is complete, and few are entirely useless within the stipulation. The art has some form of actual sparring that is not staged. Some bullshido styles are entirely fantasy, but may be useful for circulation or camaraderie amongst practitioners, but not at all as a method to defend oneself, Tai Chi and Aikido being examples. Notice how Aikido's most famous son, Steven Seagal, never fights anyone who dislikes him to understand my point. It is an art where you have to care enough about the opponent's feelings to pretend what they are doing actually works when it doesn't. In real fights, nobody pretends to lose for the ego of a person they are not fond of. Similarly, with Tai Chi and other slow forms of Kung Fu, they fail because one cannot learn to sprint in a race by pretending to run in slow motion. Instinct takes repetition, repetition takes muscle memory, all perform how they train, especially those who neglect their training in any way. Fail to fully train, and you fully train to fail. One Kyokushin Karate, ranked as a Meijin black belt, lacked aged and years, Jan 8, 2006 for 10th. At next acknowledgement and ranking, the honorary Dan is a certainty. 2. Boxing. Having a Golden Gloves boxer as a close relative. I've literally trained as a boxer since before I could walk, the same with number 3. Karate began as a toddler, now a true ranked, tested, and legitimate karateka. 4. Krav Maga trained alongside the best of the Mossad in the Midrasha Israel. 5. Shaolin Kung Fu as Wushu acolyte under Master Shi Yen Ming, Shaolin, Manhattan, New York, though not related to skill. It may be interesting to know that I was such a dork at the time, and so focused on my learning, that the fact the several Wu-Tang Clan musicians were also being trained at the same time, right alongside me, was lost on me. I thought it meant they were a guest school, only later learning how famous Reza was as an artist. Whatever his street cred is, I can add this. He fights with a singular mind and has very good manners and treats everyone like they are important to him. He is strong enough to be gentle and honorable and not look any less formidable. I was happy for him to learn his life is a successful one. 6. Tiger Muay Thai, ranked Phuket, Thailand Khan, demonstrated unanimously acknowledged 7. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu from Rorion and Renair in Colorado in early 2000s on 8 Catches Catch Can in Lancashire, England while attending Oxford. Despite the near 200-mile commute each way, was worth it to get in 4 hours from source, what it may have taken several decades to acquire stateside and dilute from roots. D.H.M.B.Peachey PhD, Oxford Master, Cryptozoology, University, 1 PhD, 1 Masters, 3 Bachelors, 5 Associate of Arts degrees starting May 2000 through August 2019 at Oxford, MIT, Caltech, Colorado School Mines, UNC, NYU, and several community colleges as well, trade school and certificate of completion courses, theology specializing, histories of religious literature, minoring in philosophy literature, majoring in historical religious and cultural social significance, minoring in mythology and societal influence of superstitions from legend and fables, including the obscure, cryptic and occult, mechanical engineering minor, marine biology philosophy, minor, historical literature, conservational and biological science minor zoology, enough credits over years for 5 Associate of Arts. With cryptozoology, creative writing, history and mythology, anthropology and engineering metallurgy, being the wide aims later honed into the specific direction I find myself looking 25 years later, and half a decade no longer schooling, only using what I have to test numerous irons in the fire. Certain numerous awards have been offered and nominated. However, an award is a prize given. A diploma or graduation certificate is an achievement earned. Be it 1 or 1,000 awards, I have personally never accepted one. And in the cases the award was based on a behavior or ideal and included a prize of value. Be it financial or otherwise, I accepted via the party to whom the prize would be donated. A fictional example would be a community service award, including a $100 gift certificate would be accepted on behalf of the local community center to whom the certificate would be given. Either way, I only accept rank earned or taken, never awarded or gifted, but I appreciated the intent enough to see to it that it went to the purpose and found use.